Well, did you know that there's an element of psychology that comes into play when you think about how we think about paying our taxes, especially when you look at things like losses and gains? Wharton professor Alex Reese-Jones has taken a deeper dive into this component of taxes, and he joins me here in studio to talk about it. Great to see you again. How
Great
are
to
you
see
doing?
you. I'm doing great. How are you?
Thank you. What was it that first got you thinking about this component of psychology in taxes?
Well, I mean, this is a little dated now, but when I was in graduate school in like the late 2000 aughts, I was very interested in behavioral economics, which is an area of economics that's all about trying to build more models from psychology into the way we do kind of regular economics. And at that stage, that was a very well developed field, but it wasn't yet like as successful as it could be because a lot of it was focused on, say, small lab experiments, and there weren't an enormous number of demonstrations of this stuff being really useful to think about big economic behaviors. And so a thought I had is that no, I think people could be influenced quite a lot by psychology when thinking about taxes, and if that's true, that would count as a big economic behavior, and understanding how to model it better through psychology would be really useful just for doing regular economics. It turned out to be right, I think, and there's been many other examples like that in the years since. But that's what initially was my point of entry into the field.
And so I mentioned at the top that component of losses versus gains. I know you wrote about it in part about the losses component, about how we think about working the losses that we have, kind of in our tax preparation every year.
Yeah. So yeah, let me summarize the idea and how losses and gains are map into it. I mean the thing I was trying to get at in this study was how the idea of loss aversion would play out in tax settings. Now, the term loss aversion sounds pretty general. You could imagine it applying to a bunch of things, but when behavioral economists use it, they mean a very particular thing. And they're referring to this reproducible finding that people seem to value slightly increasing a gain less than slightly decreasing a loss. So like to illustrate, like let's say I'm asking you how much you value a dollar that I'm holding, and you think about it, and you would hope you'd say, oh, a dollar is a dollar. I'll think of my value for that. And then to put it in different frames, I could say, well, what if I already owe you $10? So this dollar is getting mixed in and turning 10 to 11. Mm-hmm. Or I could say, what if you already owe me $10? And so this is turning you paying me 9 or 10 into you paying me 9. And in either case, I'm just giving you an extra dollar. A dollar is a dollar. But the thing you see very reproducibly is that people care a fair bit more about making the loss a little bit smaller compared to making the gains bigger. And, that's not so surprising to many people, right? Like people don't like losing. People don't like losses.
Thank you for listening to The Ripple Effect. We hope you found this episode informative and engaging. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review so that we can continue to bring you the best insight from the Wharton School.